Okay, so welcome to my chi-square distribution project. And tonight I'm going to be running through how to perform a chi-squared distribution test. And the purpose of this test is to conduct a test of hypothesis comparing an observed set of frequencies to an expected distribution. So my test was that since for a while I've always heard that accountants earn more money in the northern regions of BC. And so I listed some expected median hourly wages of accountants. And what I've said here is, based on what I've heard over the years, accountants make more money in northern BC than in southern BC regions. I'm using chi-critical value to test my hypothesis to see whether these 6 regions in BC have the same average hourly wages as I expect. Accountants are paid more in the northern regions than in southern regions of BC, and that is what I'm testing. And I got this data from the job bank. So I tried to color code the regions from the data set to this map that I found online. And so the northern regions like Nechako and the North Coast region and Midway Caribou. So Caribou would be here, Nechako is here, and the North Coast region is here. And then the Thompson Okanagan is more east and south, so that's here in blue. And then Vancouver Island and coastal region here is here, and then the lower mainland southwest region is all around here, so that's in brown. And so I expected the northern middle regions to earn more than like the lower southern part of BC. And then especially in the North Coast and northern regions, it's like 40 and 50 compared to 25 and 30 in the southern regions. And then these are my observed values. And so step 1 is you want to state the null hypothesis, whereas observed frequencies equal expected frequencies. An alternative hypothesis is observed frequencies does not equal expected frequencies. In step 2, I've chosen the 5 significance alpha percentage value here, and then you want to find the chi-critical value, and you do this by counting the number of observations, and there's 6 here, so that would represent k would be 6 minus 1, and so the degrees of freedom would be 5, and so you go to your data, your table, and I had closed that, so I am just gonna open that up again. Here we go. And so 5% significance, and then the degree of freedom is 5. So it'd be 11.07, which I have here. So that's the chi critical value. And so if the chi sample is more than 11.07, we will reject the null, which makes sense because if you go down to the table here, the chi critical value is 11.07, then anything above 11.07 would be in the rejection region here, and then therefore you would reject the null hypothesis. And so in step 3, you want to run through the chi sample test. And what that is that formula right here in green. And it's chi squared equals the sum of observed minus expected square divided by expected frequencies. And it doesn't matter which you place first, like if you do expected minus observed or observed minus expected, because if it ends up being like a negative value because you did it backwards, E and O here, you'd be squaring it, and so it'd be positive anyways. So, but you just want to make sure that you do divide it by the expected, not the observed here. And so you do that for each row, and then you add all the values that you calculate together, and that equals the chi sample. So what we have here, it is 12.33 basically if you round it up. And so therefore in step 4, you see that chi sample is more than chi critical, which I had labeled in the graph here just for an easier visual representation. So this is chi critical, and the chi sample is actually in the rejection region, brown here, and so we will reject the null hypothesis. And so based on the sample, wage amounts are not the same as I expected. And so since I reject the null, it's not the same. So essentially it could be this. And yeah, so the wage amounts are not the same as I expected. And you can see that pretty easily here too, that I expected much higher wages, but actually in the observed, they seem to be pretty consistently the same. Like in the lower mainland and in the northern regions, it's the same amount as money. So that's a bit surprising and definitely doesn't really incentivize me to want to move to the northern parts of BC if I won't earn anything more. But anyways, thank you so much for listening to my chi distribution lesson, and I hope you have a good rest of your summer.